this fight here in Melbourne, Australia, over 12 rounds, in order to stay in running for a return bout, a third and deciding bout with Muhammad Ali. Frazier came in today at 211 pounds, Jimmy Ellis 203 quarter pounds. Ellis is coming cool, calm and collected into the ring now, and his manager, trainer, Angelo Dundee, is trying to slow the pace down because Smokin' Joe, right above our commentary position here, is obviously ready and raring to go. He's tense, he's ready, and he's looking great form.
Victorian Football League footballers. Here he comes, Jimmy Ellis. Judges will by the former Golden Glove referee Gus Mercurio and the former Australian heavyweight champion Ken Brady.
The question, Ellis at a 4-1 outsider in the betting, has lost 4 fights, had one
in the blue
draw,
corner,
and one
in
win
the Frazier camp,
in 6 fights.
Eddie Fudge, Joe's advisor and trainer, a teammate of Joe Lewis. Milton Bailey is there, Philadelphia trainer, and George Benton, former middleweight contender. In the red corner in the Ellis group is manager Angelo Dundee, whose name is a legion in international boxing. Florida physician Dr. Ferdy Pacheco is also there. Felix Massoud, trainer, who worked in Kid Gavilan's corner, amongst others. Referee for the fight is a detective from Albuquerque. He fought both Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali. The recently retired, undefeated world heavyweight champion, light heavyweight champion, Bob Foster. World Heavyweight Championship elimination bout over 12 rounds. Boxer versus fighter. In the red corner, 35 years of age, 39 wins, including 23 by knockout in 51 fights. At 6 feet 1 and a reach of 76 inches, a weight of 203 quarter pounds, a former WBA heavyweight champion, Jimmy Ellis. In the blue corner, at 31 years of age, 31 victories, including 26 knockouts in 33 fights. At 5 feet 11 and a half, reach of 73 and a half inches, and a weight of 211 pounds. An Olympic gold medalist and a world heavyweight champion, Joe Frazier.
Now we're waiting for referee's instructions. My name is Ron Casey. I'm at ringside for the commentary. With me is the former great Australian welterweight champion, Tommy Burns. Welcome, Tommy.
Thank you, Ron. I'm happy to be here.
This is the moment when the referee tells the fighters just what they can and cannot do. But for American viewers, the important bit of information to come out of this is that the 3 knockdown rule will not automatically result in a knockout win to the fighter scoring the knockdowns. The referee is the only man who can stop the fight. The count will continue after the bell, except in the last round, and 2 judges and the referee are scoring it on the 5-point must system. They are using 8-ounce gloves, and it's going to be a no disqualification bout. They're underway in the red trunks, Jimmy Ellis; in the white shorts, Smokin' Joe Frazier. Frazier has not been impressive in the gymnasium. He's been a bit sluggish and a bit slow. On the other hand, Australian boxing experts have been impressed by the speed of Jimmy Ellis. Ellis, although a 4-1 outsider, has got to box in the first 4 or 5 rounds and stay out of the way of trouble. He still will remember the 1970 knockout in 5 rounds that he suffered at the hands of Smokin' Joe when they fought for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. It's a matter of what the 5 years in between has done to the 2 fighters. One minute gone of the opening round. Snappy lefts from Jimmy Ellis. It's the left hook of Joe Frazier that's the big danger punch, but it was the sneaky right hand that Ellis has a reputation for that scored then. Back again with another right is Ellis. In the Jerry Quarry fight some 8 months ago, Frazier showed that he's developed a great right hand too. Not that he didn't have it all the time, he just decided to show it. 35 years of age, is relying on speed and his sneak right hand. His recent record has been far from impressive. He has lost 4 fights, had 1 win and 1 draw in his last 6 fights. Joe Frazier, on the other hand, had that tremendous return fight with Muhammad Ali that he lost on points, and then in June of last year came out and KO'd Jerry Quarry in 5 rounds in an impressive performance. By American standards, Frazier is not earning a colossal... Oh, great right hand by Ellis. Frazier is not earning a colossal sum for this fight, but it's the biggest amount of money ever been paid to a fighter in Australia. $250,000 for this fight to Frazier and $75,000 payment to Jimmy Ellis. Here's Tommy Burns.
It seems to me, though, Frazier is taking his time, he's going on nice and easy. Certainly not touching his shit, so I think more or less seems to be as though he allowed Frazier to get where along he's going and the wrong points.
The question is Frazier rusty? He's a little bit slow with sparring partners, and the sparring partners in training in the last week didn't have too much trouble hitting Smoking Joe. Only 2 fights last year, and there's a little bit of worry that after an 8-month layoff that Frazier could be a bit slow coming in against Jimmy Ellis. Round 2 coming up now, and the bell's going, and away we go for round 2. Jimmy Ellis has got to keep those wide open spaces. He can't afford to be either pinned back on the ropes by Smoking Joe or taken into a corner. Once he's in that corner, he's got to get out of it as quickly as he can, because the walk-up, pulling, bustling tactics of Frazier will cause him trouble immediately. Oh, good left hook. And that made Jimmy Ellis blink. A nice left hook there by Joe Frazier. And he slipped it through Ellis's guard with what appeared to be ease. Frazier following around the ring, a wild swing, but in came Frazier with the right hand at the end of the flurry. 90 seconds to go in the second round. Left and a right to the head by Jimmy Ellis. Neither fighter really scoring much advantage in this third round. Fighting in close all the time. Joe Frazier trying to work away at the body, and as the fight progresses, Bob Foster was warning Jimmy Ellis not to hold on quite so much. And there's the bell to end round 3. It wasn't a good round. It was a quiet round. It was a round in which Frazier was working away to the body, and at times to try and nullify that body attack, Jimmy Ellis, the veteran, 35 years of age, back in 1970, the World Boxing Association version of heavyweight champion of the world, was hanging on to try and nullify Smokin' Joe Frazier's body attack. Tommy Burns.
Even after just two rounds, the crowd seems to be getting a little bit restless. Apparently these boys are expecting this fight to go some distance. They haven't not taking any risks. They're fighting virtually easy compared to the other fights that we've seen on this program. Possibly they will cut loose shortly and we'll get a little bit of fireworks, but they certainly have a lot of respect for each other.
The dominating figure, casting a long shadow after this afternoon's fight, is of course Muhammad Ali. Both fighters want to earn the right to return with him, but of course Frazier is the one who would automatically step into line amongst the top contenders. Rip to the body and then a right to the chin. And that was the start of this round as both fighters met in centre ring and decided to turn on some action in this fourth round. A slight nick under the left eye of Jimmy Ellis. The first sign of eye trouble to either fighter. Ellis pounding forward all the time, looking for the gap in Jimmy Ellis's armour. A wild swing from Frazier. Corner. Frazier needs to get out of here or he's going to be in trouble. I mean, Ellis needs to get out of there, moves into centre ring with the open space, and Joe seemed to just let him out of it. He had him pinned in there. Jimmy Ellis content to try and spear out a straight left to hold on the ever walking forward Joe Frazier. Frazier is getting a little angry because Jimmy Ellis is holding on. He's had another caution from Bob Foster. Ellis is, I think, being told to stop holding and get on with the fight. A little bit high on Frazier's jaw, but a great punch. And a right hand from the man who has the sneak right hand, Jimmy Ellis. Another straight left from Ellis. Frazier coming forward as though the blows have not affected him. Best combination of punches yet by Jimmy Ellis. Jimmy Ellis getting the score, although he's looking just a fraction tired. Reminiscent of the fight these two had for the vacant title back in 1970. Left hook and then a left whip to the body by Joe Frazier. The hook came from Ellis. One to two from Ellis. And Ellis is certainly having no trouble landing punches on Joe Frazier. This is the Joe Frazier, Jimmy Ellis heavyweight fight coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. A left and a right by Jimmy Ellis. And suddenly the underdog has come into this fight. That's the end of the fourth round coming up on the replay. Here's our replay. Replay at the end of the fourth round when Jimmy Ellis came alive and staggered Joe Frazier. Jimmy Ellis coming up with some great punches, and the last 2 minutes of that round was certainly all Jimmy Ellis. He looked tremendous, and he was placing his punches to Frazier's head and really scoring points all the way. Ellis looked great, and we're waiting for the replay to come up now. Watch it. Here's Ellis. Starts off with a right. Frazier comes back, misses with his right, and there's the looping left hook. It just grazed Joe Frazier's chin. And now, as they dance away, the bell is about to ring. All the good punches came from Jimmy Ellis at the close of the fourth round, and now we're going into the fifth, and the crowd sensing that the underdog might last a lot longer than the experts predicted he would with Smokin' Joe. Of course, those punches as well as stung Smokin' Joe Frazier into a lot of action, and he could be going out to seek a bit of revenge in this 5th round. Big left hook. We're in the 5th round. A great uppercut by Jimmy Ellis.
Wait.
My apologies, this is the 4th round. The action was so hectic at the end of the 3rd there that I skipped a round forward. My apologies. We're in the 4th round. Minute and a half to go in the 4th. Raising left hook there, and Jimmy Ellis could have been in trouble if he had been on the receiving end. He was just a fraction away from catastrophe. He's trying to tie Joe up now. Joe's putting his head on the shoulder there and waiting for Bob Foster to break them up. Minute to go in the 4th round. Oh, big left hook. That one hurt Ellis. 30 seconds to go, and that's the punch that we should have a look at again. That was a big one, and that hurt Ellis. Ellis is looking a little bit wobbly after that one.
Wait.
Ellis taking risks in the last seconds. There's another hook to back to those. A little bit low, landed on the neck. Ellis trying for the short right. And there's the bell to end round 4, and let's see that tremendous left hook. A great left hook that certainly shook up Jimmy Ellis. We're on replay now, and here's Smokin' Joe in the white shorts on the right-hand side of your screen. He's looking for the opportunity. Watch the left hand. And there it is! It's a wackaroo, and it's a great punch, and that was just towards the end of the round, and Jimmy Ellis saw stars. And if you'd like to have a look at that again, you'll see just what a tremendous effect it had upon Jimmy Ellis. Smokin' Joe landing his favourite punch towards the end of the 4th round, and here it is. It really goes hard when it lands home. He misses with a right and a left over the top, but swings back to an open jaw and catches Jimmy Ellis flush on the chin. There it is on the replay. We're now waiting for the bell to go to come up for the 5th round, and the signs are starting to show that Jimmy Ellis could be running into trouble with Smokin' Joe Frazier here in the big showdown match at St Kilda. Going into round 5. Jimmy Ellis tries for the big left to slow Smokin' Joe down, but Joe is just starting to move into top 6. Big left hook again. There's another one that's going to, as it did the time these two men fought before, spell a lot of trouble for Jimmy Ellis. There's trouble in the first title fight between Frazier and Muhammad Ali, when it knocked Ali down, and that was the punch that did it, a tremendous looping left hook. That was back in March 1971. It doesn't seem that long ago. It is again another left hook in close. Frazier working away like a man intent on putting his man either to the ropes or tying him into a corner. Ellis desperately trying to tie his man up, and Frazier has no trouble wrestling him away, and for that gets a caution from Bob Foster. That just bounced off Jimmy Ellis's chin, that sweeping left hook. It wasn't a damaging blow, and it certainly didn't hurt Ellis, because I was watching his eyes and they didn't blink. It was a punch that just breezed past his chin. Jimmy Ellis' seconds and supporters in the crowd, some of them who have backed him at 4-1, are telling him to move around, try and get away from these left hooks that in the last 2 rounds have been causing him so much trouble and look like turning the fight Joe Frazier's way. But Jimmy does look to be tired with 1 minute to go in the 5th round. Seconds to go in the 5th round. Smoking Joe, relying his gymnasium form, seems to be in perfect physical condition, walking forward all the time, taking the fight to Ellis, tiring his opponent out. And Ellis, with 5 seconds to go, does look a tired man as we come to the bell at the end of the 5th. Tommy Byrne not apparent so much in that 5th round. It certainly was a dominant factor in the 3rd and the 4th round. The left hook from Smokin' Joe Frazier, whose corner we are in right now. What's the answer? What can Jimmy Ellis, slightly tired, what can he do to keep out of trouble?
Unfortunately, Ellis can't do very little with it. The left hook you cannot detect from the angle it is thrown, so he doesn't know it's even coming. When this, of course, it seems to be Joe Frazier's favourite punch. He moves in close, and this is where a left hook is thrown from. And Ellis can't detect this, and I think by the way Joe is now handling him, that he'll go on, unless, of course, he's got a man in his corner, Angelo Dundee, who could rectify this.
What can he do? Can he move to the left or to the right, to the number?
He must move back. The moment Frazier moves to him, he's got to move away from him, move backwards and jab with the left hand. Keep out of the distance of left hook as it's thrown in a hook fashion, of course. That's where it derives its name from.
We've been talking to Tommy Burns, one of the great welterweight fighters that Australia has produced. We are now going into the 6th round of the showdown at St Kilda between Joe Frazier and Jimmy Ellis. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon here in Australia, and the sun is starting to sink lower into the west, and it's certainly once the fighters get to the southern side of the ring, the far side of the ring, I should say, is a factor that could affect their view of punches coming their way. Straight left. 2 minutes to go in the 6th. Seems to be the plan of defence by Jimmy Ellis. Ellis doesn't seem to have much in his kit to be able to slow down Smoking Joe as Joe keeps charging forward without any diminishing energy.
Do anything he likes. He's got anything at all to get away from the area in which Frazier can hit him. He must move away faster. He doesn't seem to be moving very slowly, actually. Frazier is shuffling forward, and he's close within range to strike these punches, and Ellis doesn't seem to be doing anything about it to nullify Frazier at all. And this has got me confused, because I certainly wouldn't like to be standing there and allowing Frazier to connect with these punches when it seems to me that you could, with a little bit of effort and not much effort, that you could get away from these punches and jab. This boy Ellis has a long left jab. Why doesn't he use it more often and box around Joe? This is Frazier's pattern of fighting. He gets in there, he punches away with both hands, and he comes over the top of the left hook and a right hand up.
Right hand, left hook by Frazier. Stinging punches, the punches that we'll go back and see in this 6th round of the big heavyweight fight here in Melbourne, Australia.
And they're damaging punches, those punches that come from the right side. And he's hooking with his right as well as his left, Frazier, right now, and this Ellis is staying much too close to him.
20 seconds to the end, 10 seconds to the end of this round. Don't forget, viewers, as I mentioned earlier, if there's a knockdown in the final seconds of the round, the count continues after the bell goes, except in the last round. And of course, the 3 knockdown rule has been suspended. We're going to see a video disc replay of the punches. Here it is coming up on replay now. It's Smoking Joe in the white shorts on the right. Jimmy Ellis, tired and certainly not fighting the fight to keep out of trouble. There's a left hook, and what a crashing punch it was with 30 seconds to go in the round. And that one had Jimmy Ellis bouncing away, as the video disc replay shows us that Ellis was certainly stung by that punch. His eyes glazed for a moment. I was watching them closely, and these left hooks he has no answer for. And you can see this is the classic way that Joe Frazier is getting through Jimmy's defence. He's dropped that right hand slightly, and whack, over it goes. There's the full momentum of the punch, and that's the blow that's really hurting Jimmy Ellis in this fight. There's the bell, and we come out now for the 7th round in the showdown at St Kilda.
Ellis holding Frazier's arm after jabbing. 2 minutes to go in this 7th round. Boxing fans all over the world, when I refer to St Kilda, may be wondering, it's a very strong sporting centre in the large southern city in Australia of Melbourne. And right now in Melbourne, the right eye of Jimmy Ellis has been opened up, and Bob Foster is having a look at it. He's telling him to box on. Joe Frazier went back to his corner. Blood is coming down the left cheekbone, the right cheekbone rather, of Jimmy Ellis. And this is a dramatic turn in the fight. A cut eye could well cause Ellis a lot of trouble. Jimmy Ellis has been opened up. Joe Frazier sensing an end to this fight. Frazier pressing home the obvious advantage. Ellis hard in trouble with a cut eye. Hasn't got the punch to slow Frazier down. He's in a lot of trouble here in Melbourne, Australia. 30 seconds to go in this 7th round. By far the most important round in the fight yet. Carries very little sting. The last punch, the left, was taken partially on the glove by Frazier. Frazier looking great.
corner there. That's Angelo's famous back that we're looking at now. And we're trying to get in close enough to see how badly cut that eye is. Jimmy Ellis, certainly in a lot of trouble as we're coming out now for the 8th round. A cut eye. He hasn't got the punch to slow Frazier down, and he seems to be running out of stamina to be able to stay in this fight. Tommy Byrne.
Seems that way, Ron. Frazier looks a certain winner in the next 2 rounds, I would say. Ellis just hasn't got the equipment to hold him up and keep him at bay.
Well, ringsiders might be thinking right now that eye is quite okay, but when you get an expert working on an eye in the corner, he can close up a flow of blood very quickly. But just another tap from Joe Frazier on that right eye will open it up again, and it's in a dangerous position. Jimmy Ellis starting to really slip out of this fight. He's losing the grasp of it, but he may have had, say, in the 5th or 6th round. Frazier maintaining the pressure and the pace and the stamina that he opened up with. A man in superb physical condition. And of course, because that cut is on the right eyebrow of Ellis, it's obvious that Joe Frazier's left hooks have been the punches that have been doing the damage that have opened up the eyebrow. Straight left and bounced back with the head of Jimmy Ellis. 2 minutes to go in this 8th round. Certainly wobbled the knees of Jimmy Ellis. The punch that Joe Frazier unveiled against Jerry Quarry in his tremendous 5-round win in New York. Minute to go in this round. Time's important to Jimmy Ellis. Left hook in close. Ellis so tired that he looks as though he could just as soon say, well, I've had enough of this. He's taken a lot of punishment. Frazier working away with taps to the body and then swinging up a worthwhile punch to the head. Frazier feels he has this fight well in control. Left to the body, left to the head. Both of them must have hurt. Now let's go back and have a look at that tremendous right hand by Joe Frazier. Here it is rolling on our replay. This is the 8th round. Frazier rips away with the left to the body. Jimmy Ellis, badly hurt, tries to straighten up. There's a crashing left hook. And here's the right hand, and that, if the left hook was a good punch, was the right hand that you can see spinning Jimmy Ellis across the ring. Let's have a look at it again, and you can see just how devastating that final right hand was. The left was a good one, but watch the right as well. Here it is on replay from Melbourne, Australia. Let's try and freeze it as the final right hand punch lands. There it is. It's just about to land. If it rolls forward a fraction, you'll see it land on Jimmy Ellis's chin. Just a little bit forward it goes on our replay, and bang, bang goes the head of Jimmy Ellis, and he was certainly rocked by that punch. We're coming out now for the 9th round. This is the round that some experts here in Australia are using a crystal ball to thought the fight might end. It's been all Joe Frazier for about the last 5 or 6 rounds. and Ellis is looking very, very tired in this ninth. Left hook again. The punch of the fight, as it always is with Smoke and Joe. Too far back around the ear, didn't really get that left hook setting it. Ellis has caught the left and the right, his back is on the ropes. And Angelo Dundee has stopped the fight. Angelo Dundee signalled that he's had enough and the fight is all over. And the fight's all over. KO in the ninth round. Angelo Dundee, as he did with fighting in other occasions, stopped the fight. Angelo said he wouldn't let his man go on, he was taking too much punishment. So it's a knockout in the ninth round to Joe Frazier in the showdown at St Kilda. Here's the replay as Joe Frazier. Here it is, the left and a right. The final punches of the fight in the ninth round. Ellis, very tired, tries to get the gloves up to stop the onslaught of Joe Frazier. Frazier comes in looking for the left hook to start the destruction. A weak left hand from Jimmy Ellis. And there wasn't a punch landed there that really did Ellis.
After 59.5 seconds
but it was stopped because the manager of Jimmy Ellis, Angelo Dundee, signalled from the corner that his fighter had had enough. The official announcement from the ring, Tony Charlton.
So what now?
Well, go back and rest a little bit right now.